and that is that you have a complete lockdown of the areas that are most affected by COVID. And many of the doctors who would be participating, who take care of outpatients, don't have open offices because they were told to shut down. So we didn't have the system in place to really affect during the height of the epidemic. Now that we do have it, we're finding that the media and politicians are interfering with the accrual of patients.
And Dr. Grace, just really quickly, the medical director or medical correspondent at NBC said they wouldn't prescribe hydroxy to a loved one because its side effect is, and I quote, death. That's the side effect, death. Dr. Kavita Patel said that.
Yeah, then they shouldn't recommend aspirin or Tylenol to their patients as well, because that's even more dangerous.
Dr. Grace, as always, great to hear your perspective tonight. Thank you so much.
Good to see you, Laura.
All right, and last night we brought you the shocking truth about COVID deaths in Pennsylvania, including the fact that more deaths occurred in people over 100 years of age than under 45 years of age. That's not to minimize any deaths of any age, but the age distribution is likely the key to reopening society and assessing who's most vulnerable. And by the way, this isn't just for the Keystone State. Let me walk you through startling numbers we've collected from across the country. In Illinois, there were 3 times more COVID deaths among those 80 years or older than people under 60. In Michigan, 3,491 COVID fatalities are for ages 70 and up. That's 69% of all of them. 253 fatalities are under the age of 40, or just 5% of all fatalities. And the numbers are similar in Massachusetts, in Connecticut, and elsewhere. Joining me now is Alex Berenson, former New York Times reporter, author of Tell Your Children. Alex, why isn't every leader shouting figures like this from the rooftops? What's the motivation for suppressing the data and the framing of this data to keep this COVID-19 in some context?
Well, I think you just said it. I mean, by the way, it's not just in the U.S. This is true in Italy and Spain and the U.K. All the places that have seen the most deaths. The deaths are very, very heavily skewed to older people, especially people over 80.
Well, we wouldn't have known that, right? We wouldn't have guessed that octogenarians are going to die of anything 4 to 5 times more than the average age person. I mean, this whole thing has been such a perverted joke. Again, if it wasn't this sick, you could laugh. But it's too sick to be funny. How many people have committed suicide? How many wives have been battered? How many men have abused children, women abused because of the stress and the strain? And these idiots that told us we had to shut everything down. See, because their paychecks kept coming. These government know-it-alls. They love this. It's their monkey, their circus. And guys like Cuomo, who sentenced 5,000 elderly people to their death, literally, by importing COVID-19 patients into nursing homes. At the same time, he was going on TV, declaring how precious his mother's life was. And that, hey, Mom, I miss you, but we know why we can't visit you, because we don't want to risk you getting sick. But he demanded that nursing homes took in COVID-19 patients. That's murder. Straight up murder. You know, if he didn't say what he said on TV about not exposing his own elderly mother, then you say, well, the guy's ignorant. He's just a stupid moron. But just like Obama, just like the Clintons, they're not stupid, they're evil. And to display and practice their power, these people are psychopaths. These same people of the generation of the boomer generation, you know, these liberals that love doing drugs. I've lived with their hypocrisy my whole life. I'm 64 years old. You young skulls of mush out there under 40, you don't know how hypocritically insane these left-wingers are that are baby boomers. They used to ingest every type of drug. Don't take the brown acid, cocaine, heroin, crack, booze, anything that feels good goes. Free sex, they called it free love. Wasn't a whole lot of love. It was a whole lot of free sex. It was a whole lot of disease, which led to AIDS. And you know what? While they were taking all these drugs, hey man, I'm a vegetarian. Really? You just ate DuPont's chemical lab to get high. But you're going to tell me about free radicals, man. I drink 8 quarts of water an hour, man. Because, you know, I'm holistic. I'm organic. I eat granola. I mugged Yule Gibbons. This is the left-wing psychopathy. Do anything to get high. Hey, man, I tried mescaline. I ate mushrooms. Hey, dude, they did it all. They sniffed gasoline. They sniffed glue. What kind of a moronic beast to get out of his mind? And what makes you so sick and unhappy that you got to stay high? That life in reality is just not good enough for you. You have to be on chemicals. I never comprehend. I never drank. They smoked pounds of marijuana. And he told you, man, like George Carlin, oh, about free radicals. I drink water, man. Really? Yeah, I drink 0 water. Think about that. They're taking every drug under the sun. But hydrochloroquine is lethal, man, because Trump recommended it, man. Do you know Advil is an accelerant to this COVID-19? If you're on Advil or any type of a statin like that, it proliferates the disease through your body. That it's like pouring gas on a raging fire. And they're worried about hydrochloroquine, a drug that has killed almost nobody. And where's the evidence? Who died from it? But you listen to them talk, the drug people, they'll tell you it's the most dangerous thing in the world. LSD was fine. Right? Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, man. LSD's fine, man. Smoking dope for 50 years, that's all good, because it's nature. But anything Trump recommended, by the way, the recommendation was solid. Been using it against malaria and diseases like that for over 100 years. Aspirin comes from tree bark. More people died from taking aspirin than hydrochloroquine this month. So you listen to these loony birds, the drug culture people of the left, that they had an excuse for every drug they sniffed, snorted, ingested. It was always a reason why it was okay, man. Right? And here's Cuomo, one of them. 5,000 dead elderly New Yorkers because he put COVID-19 patients in the nursing homes where these people were. The governor in Florida didn't dare. The first thing he did was put up a wall to protect the elderly people in Florida. Think about that. But not Governor Goombats. He's on TV every day in New York talking about spaghetti and meatballs, how precious Matilda is, and how good it is, the daughters, the boyfriend. If you've listened to this psychopath lay that crap out every day, thinking he is some form of modern day, what an egoist. Like, we really give a crap. There are people that lost their mothers. You stupid son of a bitch. Because of what you did. And then it's not bad enough. You go on TV and talk about your precious mother. So what do you do with these people in the end? I'll tell you what I know. You don't debate with drug-induced drinkers. You don't do it. You don't engage with people who live to stay in unreality land. And if we don't get rid of them out of this society and completely out of the body politic, this country's dead. There's no way this is going to survive. So if you think there was a reason for the Civil War in 1861, I understand, I'm a student of the Civil War. I'm going to Gettysburg this week. And every time I go, and I look out on those fields and I think, these kids all spoke the same language, went to the same church. The difference between a Yankee and a rebel in 1861 was totally negligible. So, if they had 4 good reasons to go to war, we have 400. I don't know how come the Civil War hasn't exploded yet. And this isn't over something as isolative as slavery, because that was a pretty linear issue when you think about it. Most Yankee soldiers never saw a black slave. Never saw one. Many of the kids that came from country places in Minnesota, upstate New York, Vermont, they never saw a black person. Never saw one. But this stuff is personal. Crooked apparatchiks in the FBI, crooked apparatchiks in the IRS, Schulman and Lois Lerner going after Christian groups in America and getting away with it. Well, not on my watch. They're not getting away with it. Because I'm not letting the people forget. Because justice has to come, Comey, Obama, you usurping liar rat, McCabe, Strzok, Brennan, a CIA head, Mr. Potato Head, a communist. Can you imagine? It's time to saddle up, boys. Time to clean out the barn.